There are some moments, I think when you experience them, they're not as impactful. I didn't really get to process until we got home.
I missed a call from him. I was just completely devastated. Like, I was thinking, what if that was it? What if that was the last opportunity to ever hear from him?
I saw a Marine in his dress blues when I was 6. And since that point, I always knew I wanted to be one of those guys. It is fall of '98. I've just gotten back from Marine Corps boot camp. I'm going by a flower shop to get a flower for my mom. I walk in and there's this beautiful blonde-haired, green-eyed girl that smiles at me. And I'm like stuck, I'm like kind of caught because I've never really seen a girl that pretty in real life before.
And we had this 1 month of dating. When September 11th happened, we knew that our lives were going to be changed forever because of the Marines.
It was a very defining moment at the beginning of our relationship. We were connected to a heavy machine gun unit in New York, and we lost a corporal in our machine gun platoon. He was a firefighter in Tower 2 when it fell. I was activated to kind of backfill the troops that were deploying to Afghanistan, so I just went to active duty into North Carolina. We were married in December of 2002.
And I'm so thankful to God because what was to come was heavy.
And then got the call that we were deploying to Iraq for the invasion.
We said goodbye at the airport, not knowing if we'd ever see each other again.
You know, for the person deploying, I think it's a little easier than, as far as being apart, than the person that's left behind, because Allison is now subject to her imagination.
I had spent 6 months, honestly, watching the runner on the bottom of the news because they would list the names of the dead. I missed a call from him. I drove home thinking, what if that was it? What if that was the last opportunity to ever hear from him?
One time we took fire. We did what we needed to do. We relied on our training. We returned fire. We got back to the safe spot. And we kind of started processing it a little bit. But I think some of the things we experienced overseas, I didn't really get to process until we got home to a brand new marriage. Being around situations where children were killed was really hard. Having some questions in my faith that I had never had the opportunity to ask before. To have faith during my experience in service was not normal. Faith was looked at like weakness. Being back home was amazing, but I'm really confused during this time, and I'm happy, but I'm also not happy. There's some post-trauma. I wanted to isolate and withdraw from everyone.
I remember exactly where I was sitting when he's like, I need to go talk to someone. You know, at that young age was like, I'm supposed to be everything you need, you know? That's also a lie. No, we were designed to be in community.
We had 2 years that we lived in Arkansas.
Little did we know, like, prepare for the next thing that God was gonna ask us to do.
We felt a very distinct call to move to the mission field. So we moved to Russia for 3 years and lived in Moscow. We got to work with people in a different kind of trauma. And so it was very rewarding working with those students. We moved back from Moscow to the States in the summer of 2009. And then I started jiu-jitsu and kept crossing paths with this dude named Reed. And he kept saying, hey, you're a veteran? You go to Mighty Oaks. I would make excuses like, well, there's probably someone else who's in crisis that needs it more than I do, so I don't want to take their spot. But for about 2.5 years, I said no. And so finally, I went to Mighty Oaks. For me, things are sharper in my life typically when I have a challenge, when I have to fight for it. Mighty Oaks has taught us as parents to be able to respond to our kids in that way, and his scriptures are powerful, and that is the ultimate answer.
When he came home, he was like supercharged to lead differently, and he did, and it hasn't stopped since. When I first heard about Mighty Oaks, I 100% was so excited right away. I have never heard of anything that comes close to what Mighty Oaks does. The veteran or the first responder going through it has family, friends, a spouse that is being affected also by whatever that person has gone through. The opportunity for spouses to go is pretty amazing.
If you know about Mighty Oaks and you're hesitant to come, know that we don't rely on war stories. We don't weigh people's value based on their wartime experience, whether or not they fought in a battle or whether they didn't. You belong there. And that's the only requirement you have.